What's up, everybody? Welcome to BioS 3 Raw TV. So tonight we're going to talk about something that it frustrates me, guys, because I actually, over the years, you guys have seen me talk about things that no one else talks about, things that no one else thinks is true, things that no one else wants to accept. And what they do is they argue and fight back with me. And I point this out in many videos because just because there isn't a scientific explanation to back something up that is happening does not mean that there is nothing scientific about what's happening, and eventually science won't catch up, which is exactly what's happening right now. Now, the one thing we're going to talk about tonight is saccharin. We're going to talk about sweeteners in general, right? You know, science is actually catching up to stuff that I was talking about 2 years ago. Maybe more. 2015, 16, 17, 18, about 4 years ago. Science is now catching up to what I was talking about. People would tell me I was absolutely fucking stupid. I was nuts. I was wrong. I was this. Lo and behold, new studies have come out to say that artificial sweeteners, certain ones, they're looking at certain ones, which is saccharin is the one right now, which not a lot of people use saccharin anymore. It's the pink packets that you get for sweeteners. The blue ones are equal. The sucralose and sucrose are two different things, obviously, but the sucralose is used in a lot of bodybuilding supplements. And I've had people kind of give me shit because, Jerry, you talk about these sweeteners and stuff, but you have sucralose in your products, right? And I'm like, bear with me, guys, okay? So Alan Aragon, I'm sorry, I never say this guy's name right. Alan, I'm sorry if I completely butcher your name, but this is one of those cases of science starting to back up what I was saying 4 years ago. Now, a new study came out. Now, Alan Aragon, had posted on his Instagram, said, "I'm not against artificial sweetener use, but this recent study has relevance for the general population of dieters who consume artificial sweeteners indiscriminately. This trial compared the effects of sucrose, table sugar, aspartame, stevia, saccharin, and sucralose. In the case of saccharin, this population could be sabotaging their efforts to control hunger. Saccharin is most commonly found in those pink packets of Sweet and Low, but it won't hurt to check the labels of whatever diet products you consume." Now, what the study said was a randomized controlled study, and this is the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition. It says a randomized controlled trial contrasting the effects of 4 low-calorie sweeteners and sucrose on body weight in adults with overweight or obesity. The key findings of the study: during a 12-week study on the non-dieting overweight and obese subjects, sucrose, table sugar, and saccharin led to the increase in body weight. So check this out. Table sugar, which most people are trying to avoid if they're overweight, right? They've been told to avoid sugar. It causes hormonal responses, which it does. Other people say it doesn't matter. I'm not here to debate that. I don't give a fuck. Bottom line is, during this control group, the sugar, which of course would be more calories, right? So that would make sense that that would have somebody gain weight. But the saccharin, there's no extra calories. So how did they gain weight if they didn't consume extra calories? If they consume extra calories in sugar, that makes sense. But the saccharin, why did it have the same effect as sugar? So what they found was sucralose, what's in most dietary supplements, was the only sweetener that led to a significant decrease in body weight and body fat compared to the other sweeteners. Not aspartame, not saccharin, not stevia. Interesting, right? Not stevia. This is what I've been trying to tell you guys, and no one fucking listens. I'm like, this is what I've seen in the field being the fucking gym where I've been for the last 29 years, my fucking face shoved in the fucking gym watching what's happening. But now all of a sudden there's a scientific study to back it up. So lo and behold, people are going to be like, "Oh, Jerry, this is the fucking fact." I said that 4 years ago. There's plenty of videos on here of me talking about sweeteners and how they affect the body and what they do besides changing things calorically. Because the saccharin has way less calories than the sucrose does. However, it had the same effect of weight gain. The sucralose has the same exact calories as the saccharin does. However, this caused weight loss. It supported weight loss. Holy shit, this is exactly what the fuck I said. Hunger ratings among the saccharin sweetener group were significantly greater than all other groups. These findings suggest artificial sweeteners should not be viewed as a single entity with the same effects. Okay, this is the study. These are the scientists saying this, right? Saccharin differs from the other artificial sweeteners since it potentially can contribute to weight gain via increasing appetite, thus energy intake. So they're finding that saccharin can somehow increase your appetite. So this is what I said. I said this 4 years ago, that these sweeteners can do things to your brain that trigger hormonal responses, which one of the hormonal responses to saccharin is hunger. That is one of the things that it triggers. Now, other things, which aspartame is one that I've looked very heavily into, is I know people that take in aspartame tend to have a quote-unquote higher sweet tooth. Now, when I interview my clients, in general, and we talk about the sweet tooth and we talk about what's going on, I usually ask them, hey, when you were a kid, were you really into sweets? And they're like, oh, as a kid, everybody's into sweets as a kid. Okay, what about as a teenager, young adult? Well, as a young adult, wasn't really, not really, more of a, so as a kid, well, kids are just into candy, right? But your sweet tooth that you've had, when did it really start to kick in? They're like, well, I used to be able to, and they think in their head, because they were allowed to have it before, mentally, they didn't crave the sweets as much because they technically weren't like restricting it from the diet. But as soon as they started restricting it from the diet, lo and behold, they wanted the sweets more. They had more of a sweet tooth. There's more of a craving. Okay, what were you doing? Lo and behold, saccharin back then was one of the only sweeteners available. They added saccharin to their fucking diet, and they figured because they restricted the sweets, now their brain was playing tricks on them, and they wanted the sweets more because they just technically couldn't have them. When in reality, it was a chemical reaction in the brain, a hormonal response in the brain that the saccharin caused, which then made them want sweets more, which made them overeat the sweets because they couldn't say no. The hunger signal to the brain was stronger with the saccharin. The saccharin made it almost uncontrollable. That's exactly what I have fucking talked about, and it really fucking upsets me when I'm like, this is what I said, and people disregarded it. They make fun of me. They fucking, literally, in the last 2 years, so many things that I said 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago have come to fruition with science catching up now. It's exactly what I have said. Bodybuilders are 14, 15, 20 years ahead of what these scientists are actually looking at. We're in the field doing our own studies, doing these experiments, getting data that the scientists don't care about. Then what they do is they do the same shit. They go in the fucking gym. They go in the fucking, I don't want to say in the diets, but they go in the diet realm of people that are dieting. They submerge themselves in these studies to find out what's going on. They find out exactly what we've been talking about. It matches up perfectly. Now, the big thing that I want to really hammer home again about these sweeteners is this is just one thing they're looking at. This is just one thing they're like, hey, we think there's a tie-in between, increased appetite, increased weight gain with sweeteners, so let's do this. What they're not also looking into yet, which some people have, and I want to go over this with, I actually know a scientist that is going to come on here. We're going to actually talk about sweeteners in general, about sweeteners affecting the gut biome. This is considered the second brain, okay? It is something that controls so many things in your body that people don't even know about, that when it is thrown off, it causes a host of fucking ailments, including weight gain, diabetes, you name it. This gut biome getting fucked up can actually cause that, and these sweeteners actually cause it. Now, as far as the aspartame goes, I have personally seen the aspartame with myself, with other clients, where if you're drinking something that has aspartame in it, and you're not, and it could be one little Diet Coke a day, one little diet soda, those little things called ice that all the fucking fitness people like to drink now. It's like a fucking sparkling water that's flavored, that has aspartame in it. These things can trigger, I don't want to say hunger, because it's not just necessarily just hunger, but hunger for sweets, which make it even harder to control for people that already like sweets to begin with. It raises that hunger even more. Now, other people that don't like sweets, what I personally have seen and what others have seen that we've discussed is hunger in general goes up when you're using sweeteners, which is very strange because technically, and this is just a theory. I don't have anything to back it up because I'm not a scientist. I haven't done experiments, right? But sugar in general, and I'm not telling you to eat sugar, I'm not telling you to eat sweeteners, I'm not telling you not to eat, I'm just giving you guys information. What you take from it, go out there and learn some shit on your own, dig in it. When you're eating sugar and insulin raises, here's the interesting part. As insulin goes up, that's a response to the food that you're eating that needs to clear it out of your system. The hunger signal actually goes down when insulin goes up as it's clearing it out. Now, as your blood sugar gets cleared out, the insulin stays high. That then triggers your brain to want more food because the insulin is still high. Now, I don't have any proof yet. However, I have heard from numerous people that they feel that this is pretty much what they think is happening too, is aspartame itself somehow raises insulin slowly or to a small amount, not slower than sugar, okay, not the same as sugar, but enough to give the person, quote unquote, a blood sugar crash. People that are using sweeteners have a tendency to get more blood sugar crashes than if they weren't using them. Now, how do those blood sugar crashes happen? Why is the glucose clearing out of the blood faster when you're using a sweetener than when you actually use sugar? Sugar regulates your insulin a lot better than these sweeteners do. So what is happening? What's happening is you're not having the sugar in your bloodstream that causes the insulin to spike very quickly and have a large amount of insulin to clear that sugar out. What's happening is you're eating either complex carbohydrates, which are digesting slower and there's not enough glucose in the blood, or you're eating something like a keto diet or something like that where there's almost no glucose in the blood because your body's trying to make it from glycerol and things like that. So now what happens is if this aspartame or other sweeteners are triggering insulin response, which again has not been proven, however, something is happening, and this is, all fucking directions lead to this. As your insulin goes up from these sweeteners, the blood sugar is clear, the glycogen is cleared out of the glucose. Sorry, the glucose is cleared out of the blood even faster because there's not enough in the blood. There's not actually sugar there. There's not actually a high enough amount to dictate needing that much insulin. As it clears out there faster, the blood sugar drops very quickly. You are left with the quote-unquote blood sugar crash, which then, here's another great thing. If you've ever had a blood sugar crash, you may realize that before you actually feel the effects of the blood sugar lowering, you get hungry. The first signal to your brain is hunger. Before you start to feel all loopy and weird, then you're like, oh my God, I need to take in something to bring my blood sugar back up. But the first thing your brain does is it gives you a signal. The first thing your body does is give your brain a signal that is hunger. So your hunger tells you, oh, you need to eat. And you're like, oh, I'm dieting, I can't eat, I gotta stick to my macros. Then the blood sugar keeps dropping, and you feel the effects of it to where you feel dizzy and you feel all fucked up. Anybody that's ever had a blood sugar crash, you sweat, you shake, you fucking feel like you're gonna throw up shit all at the same time. Pass out, like all of it happens all at the same time because your blood sugar is dropping. Well, what do you think is happening to the individuals as that insulin goes up? That hunger signal. Now what happens is people are having, these I don't want to call them diet breaks, but these lapses of diet because they go off their diet because A, they're hungry out of control, and B, they're having blood sugar crashes, and they're like, I don't really know what's going on with my body. My body's not regulating itself properly because your brain is getting a signal that it's tasting something sweet that is very similar to sugar. Matter of fact, these sweeteners are usually much sweeter than sugar. And we all know that digestion begins in the mouth. As soon as you get something in your mouth, sweet-wise, that signal is already going to your brain that, hey, we need to start releasing insulin. Insulin starts releasing as soon as your brain realizes that there's sugar in your mouth. The problem is you're putting something in your mouth that mimics sugar taste-wise, but not molecule-wise. It doesn't have the same effect. It doesn't do the same thing hormonally to your body, or shouldn't do the same thing hormonally to your body, but it should give you the same satisfaction, so it keeps you happy and satisfied, but doesn't have an effect on your body. But now what we're finding is it will help keep you satisfied with that sweetness, but it's having an effect to the body similar to sugar. However, there's no blood sugar or no glucose to take care of the insulin that's going up. Now, another thing is many people, people will argue this all day long, but we do also know for a fact, and it's very bro, but it's out, the science is actually out there because that's how bros figured it out. A scientist fucking told them. They read these studies and stuff and said, when your insulin levels are high, it's very hard to burn body fat. It's not saying you're not going to burn body fat, like it automatically shuts body fat burning off. But once your insulin levels are actually increasing, usually it starts to slow down body fat loss very quickly. So now we have a sweetener that has no calories in it, that technically is supposed to keep you satisfied sweetness-wise so you don't break your diet and go crazy and eat cookies or something. But we have it affecting the brain, increasing insulin, making you hungry, slowing down fat loss. Put all these things together, it's like, it's actually better to eat small amounts of sugar. Like technically it would be better to eat small amounts of sugar, like, and I'm talking about like not even a packet of sugar, like taking a little pinch of sugar and putting it on your food so there's so little of it, you're just getting the taste of it. And you're not really consuming calorie-wise more than you would. I mean, it's maybe a couple calories, like 4 or 5 calories or something like that, right? In this little fucking, 1 gram of sugar or something you put on your food, the insulin response is not going to be crazy because it's 1 fucking gram of sugar. But at the same time, it'll have glucose in your body that it needs, which is only that 1 gram. But the brain reacts differently, and the body reacts differently to the sugar. It actually reacts more favorably to the sugar because that's what the body actually naturally uses and wants. It doesn't naturally find these fucking sweeteners in nature. So we're entering a time where we have really been playing with fire with these new things that were coming out with chemicals and fucking all these things to try to bypass nature. When I'm like, why don't you just fucking cut this shit? Maybe sweeten your shit with some monk fruit or something like that, which is a fucking another sweetener that so far has not had the same effects, or not the same side effects, I should say, as regular artificial sweeteners. And stop with this, doesn't matter, they're deemed to be safe, and blah, blah, blah. Saccharin, if you guys remember, is also the one that causes fucking cancer in lab rats. And that was something that, people say, well, it happens in a rat, doesn't mean it's going to happen in a human. They have to consume so much of it. Well, we're finding out now that may not be necessarily true. Even small amounts of these sweeteners are having reactions to the body that scientists didn't know years ago. Like, well, fuck, you can take one goddamn packet of this fucking saccharin, and all of a sudden it's making them fucking gain weight. We didn't know that. This is a new study. These are new findings because they couldn't figure out why the fuck people taking sweeteners were gaining weight. This is just one step in the direction of finding out what these sweeteners actually do to the body, besides give you a sweet flavor. It's supposed to keep you fucking sane. And I'm like, this is what I fucking said. Like, I can't stress that enough. Like, all I want to do is fucking help you guys. All I want to do is have the knowledge myself to take care of myself, my clients, hand off to you guys. And in the turn, what happens is you get resistance all the way because it's not the norm. People are so brainwashed by the food companies, by the people that are scientists, that are hired by the food companies, that are hired by these companies that need this data to come out to push their product to make billions of dollars. And when it comes out and people have side effects to it, then these, not those scientists, new scientists go, what the fuck is going on? Let's see what's going on. They go in, they start studying, say, hey, this does that. Holy shit. They pulled saccharin off the market for a while and then fucking relabeled it saying that it may cause cancer. Like, what the fuck? They put this stuff on the market without even knowing whether it actually caused cancer in humans or not. They didn't study it long enough. They said, oh, it causes cancer in lab rats. Well, fuck. And all of a sudden what happened was they were starting to make the link. They were like, fuck, people consuming saccharin are maybe 2 or 3 times more likely to get this type of cancer. Fuck, they had to study it and go, fuck, it's doing this to rats. We're seeing the same thing in humans, but we can't definitely positively say the saccharin is definitely going to cause it 100% of the time, but even 85% of the time. What the fuck? So now what happens is they got to put the disclaimer, may cause cancer on saccharin. Guess what? There's saccharin in your fucking toothpaste, saccharin in a lot of fucking things. So when you think you're only getting a little packet in your fucking drink, well, I'm not taking that much. You're getting in your fucking toothpaste. Me, I brush my teeth 2 to 3 times a day. I try to get it twice a day, but if I can get that third one in, I'll get that third one in. But in the morning and night, I still brush my teeth. That's saccharin going in my fucking body on top of, let's say I was drinking 2 or 3 drinks a day sweetened with the saccharin. Let's say I dump saccharin in my fucking oatmeal because I have a sweet tooth and I'm dying for fucking sweets, so I'm loading them with the saccharin left and right. But I'm not getting enough to cause cancer. Well, maybe not buy those packets in your oatmeal, but add up all the shit that you're getting together in the next fucking 10 years, and you may get a cancer that you normally wouldn't have. You may or may not, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it's definitely, it's okay, it's not a big deal, nobody fucking cares, it's not going to bother you. But I'm also not going to sit here and say it's definitely going to give you cancer. But my thing is, if there's things that you can do to limit your chances of getting cancer, we've all seen cancer up close and personal by now. 2019, all of us have had a family member, a loved one, someone we know die of cancer and die miserably and painfully of cancer. And you're trying to tell me that you don't care about going through that as long as you can have your fucking sweetener in your goddamn fucking sweet tea? By all means, that's natural selection. That's taking the dummies right out of the fucking world, giving them cancer and killing them off because they don't fucking care anything about sweet tea, anything other than sweet tea. Fuck it, natural selection, kill them. But those of you out there like me that want to know the fucking truth because we do want to limit whatever the fuck's going in our bodies to harm ourselves because we did all kinds of shit when we were younger that may fuck us up now and we don't want to have those side effects and go through those fucking awful, terrible times, then we need to know, and that's what this is all about. So hopefully you guys understand that Alan, Alan, which you can call him Big A, Alan, is putting this stuff up, and I appreciate him putting it up because a lot of these science guys, they claim to be really just about the science and all about facts and all about knowing what's real and the data. And some of them hide shit because they don't want to be wrong. Alan, thank you for putting it up. I appreciate it. I'm looking forward to seeing more things that these sweeteners, or more things that study-wise come out about these sweeteners, because I'm telling you guys right now, there's much more to this than you think there is, and time will tell and show the truth. BioStraining@gmail.com. Leave comments down below, but don't fight. BioStraining.com, the blog. It's the sodium saccharin, it's bullshit bicep, and we are out.